Thanks for being here today. First off, apologies if you hear children screaming and the dog barking as I'm working remotely from home. Obviously, it would have been more ideal for us to have this conversation in Palm Beach at the owners' meetings, but with the new normal we're living in, that's just not the case. But it was important for us as an organization to take this time to just do a recap and update of where we are after the initial wave of free agency and go over that with you guys. I know we're going to have another forum coming up shortly where we go over the draft, pre-draft. So, the focus obviously today will be on free agency and kind of where we are. But before I begin, I just wanted to say that I'm glad that all of you are here. I hope your loved ones are healthy and safe. And on a bigger scale, I want to thank everyone who's working to save people. If any of you have friends or family that are in the medical field, first responders, please give them my personal gratitude and thanks because they're the real heroes right now. If we can be a small diversion to what's happening around the world, we're welcome to do that, to be that. So as we're acclimating to what's become a new normal for us, during the first week of free agency, we had a skeleton crew in the office just during that first week. Once the shelter-in-place rules came into effect, we've been working remotely. And I want to say the heroes of our organization right now, it's been Tom Murphy, our IT department. They've been rock stars, just getting us all set up to work remotely, and so that the line of communications to each other, to players, to agents, it's been spot on. Ryan O'Hare in the video department has done a great job. Our medical team, Dr. Montgomery, John Melody, Dave Zuffaletto, they've all done a great job adjusting and improvising to what's going on around the world and with our organization. So just touching back to where the last time we talked, at the Combine prior to free agency, we had a lot of holes to fill. Our plan was to be strategic and disciplined. I think we had a clear plan of what we were going to try to do. I think I've been very open and transparent about what we needed to fix, the positions and needs that we were going to address. And I feel like we needed to really build a foundation moving forward of the right type of people and the right kind of depth on our team. I feel like all the best teams in the National Football League, they have really good depth. And then we also wanted to be disciplined financially. I feel really confident that we were able to do that through the first few weeks of free agency. I think that financial discipline is going to play a big role in helping us build a team that ultimately has flexibility moving forward and to be a team that can have continued and long-term success. So we look for players that not only could come in and contribute immediately, but like I've said many times before, would fit the culture to what we were doing, to fit the culture that me, Adam, Coach Williams, that everyone's putting into place. So it was important for us to bring those quality players that have the right level of toughness, intelligence, versatility, and it was important for us to bring in those types of players and then bring them in on fair market deals. And just as important, we feel like these signings give us flexibility in the draft. So it allows us to make the decisions that we believe are in the best interest of the Jets. So just to touch on the draft quickly before, and I know, again, like I said, we'll have another forum in the next few weeks, but we have a real opportunity through the draft with 8 picks and 4 in the top 80. And we're going to continue to work on bringing players in that can make an impact and add depth. So that team, the free agency, those are going to be keys to our success moving forward. Like I said before, our plan is the same. We're going to try to create the best culture in sports. So that all revolves around bringing in the right people, and so I keep talking about the commitment and character and the competence that we're trying to create. So with that, I will open it up to questions.
The first question is Brian from the Post. Your line is active.
Hey, Joe, thanks for doing this. Just wondering, you talked about the new normal a few times. Could you describe for us, how this has affected draft prep and the way you're going about things, and how are you communicating with your scouts, with the coaches, and also what's your plan for the actual draft right now in terms of where you guys would conduct business?
Yeah. So I would say, we've all had to be flexible through this. We've all had to A&I, right, adjust and improvise. And so I think, again, Murph, Steve, and IT, they've really given us the ability to use technology to our advantage in these times, as far as having the right type of communication with each other, with agents, with players, being able to meet. So we're obviously doing all of this remotely, and we're doing it to the best of our ability. I'm sure, and I know you guys are all going through the same thing. There's definitely a certain amount of uncomfortability when you're moving from your office to your home office, with the distractions that can take place and just not having the convenience. So everyone's had to go through that. I think everyone's done a great job. I think we've been able to over-communicate. I think we've been able to stay on the same page. I know we have a great plan moving forward for draft meetings with our coaching staff. So nothing really is going to change from that perspective as far as the mechanics of our meetings. It's just going to be remotely. And I think where we are technology-wise, we're ahead of the curve. As far as the second part of that question, I think we're still too far away from the actual draft to know exactly what and where we're going to be for the draft. Ideally, in a perfect world, we're back in our building, but we're all trying to take this day by day. And what we're going to do is we're going to plan for worst case scenario and hope for the best. But we're going to be ready. I promise you that.
Connor from The Athletic, your line is active.
Hey, what's up, Joe? I was just wondering if you could kind of expand a little bit on the number of one-year contracts you guys have given out in free agency. And I know you mentioned flexibility and things like that, but just kind of what you believe structuring contracts like that, even the deals that are multi-year, kind of having it, an out after the first year, what that allows you guys to do moving forward.
So I would say that as far as the one-year contracts, I mean, look, there are instances where we would rather have a multi-year deal. I feel like in football, you kind of take what the defense gives you or the offense gives you. So the market dictated a lot of those one-year deals, and it does give us great flexibility. Obviously, the market wasn't ideal for a lot of players and agents early, and so like I said, we were able to come to agreement on a lot of one-year deals. But again, we have the flexibility to try to extend those guys through the season.
Manish, Daily News, your line is active.
Joe, were there any cash flow restrictions on you during free agency? Why did you or your contract negotiators tell agents that cash might be an issue?
I mean, look, we're trying to be as financially responsible as we can be, and we feel comfortable about where we are right now with our cash flow, while also maintaining a certain level of flexibility so that if the right opportunity presents itself, we can be proactive and go after a certain player. So I would just say we feel good about where we are now and where we are moving forward.
Again, press star 3 if you have any questions. Star 3 if you have any questions. Daryl from NJ Advanced Media, your line is active. Daryl from NJ.
Joe, can you hear me?
Hey, Daryl, how you doing?
Joe, sorry, the person was talking over me. Can you hear me, Joe?
Yeah, I can hear you, Daryl.
Hello? Yeah, all right, sorry. As you look at your offensive line, where are you in the process of trying to get that position group right? How do you feel about Fant and Edoga maybe being your day one starters at tackle? If you could just kind of walk us through all that, and maybe Brian Winters, his status as well going forward.
Yeah, so the new acquisitions as far as bringing in George Fant, excited about his athleticism. I think he's going to be a good fit into our scheme. the things he can do, his lateral quickness, just the raw athletic tools that he has, he's going to have a great opportunity to come in and compete for a starting spot. Great to get Alex Lewis back in the fold. He brings that element of toughness and that nasty mentality that every good offensive line needs. I feel like we're able to bring offensive linemen in with similar toughness and mentality that we're looking for, and a guy like Greg Van Roten, who started a lot of games in Carolina. Again, another guy that's smart. He's been durable. He's been versatile. So I think what we tried to do, and what you can see is, George is a guy that can play left tackle, right tackle. He played the extra offensive lineman as a tight end. He even lined up as wide receiver in a couple formations for the Seahawks. So he brings flexibility, versatility. Alex is a guy that can play guard and right tackle. Van Roten's another guy that can play both guard spots. Connor McGovern, smart, athletic, can play center and guard. So feel good about the football instincts, the versatility, the toughness that we brought into that group. Again, on Brian, Brian is our only remaining opening day starter from last year. You love his competitiveness and his toughness, and we should have a really good competition for our starting offensive line, and ultimately we're going to have our best five on the field come opening day.
Rich from ESPN, your line is active.
Joe, the Jets have been linked in some circles to Jadeveon Clowney. Can you just describe what is your level of interest in him? And then the second part of the question would be on the same theme, edge rushing. You really haven't, addressed edge rushing. Is that something you would say for the draft? But more importantly, what is the level of interest in Clowney, if any?
Yeah. So, good question, Rich. I would say we're going to do our due diligence on everybody that's out there, especially at the edge rush position. I'm not going to get into the specifics of the details of the conversations we've had. I can tell you that we are all very excited to bring Jordan Jenkins back, even though it was on a one-year deal. Love the production that he's had in his first few years in the league. And talk about one of the best locker room guys we have. So can't tell you how excited we are to get Jordan. And look, we're gonna look at multiple positions throughout the rest of free agency and the draft. And if there's an opportunity for us to upgrade, I think we have the flexibility to do it.
Brian from the Post, your line is active.
Joe, two high-profile wide receivers were traded early on in free agency, and Stephon Diggs and DeAndre Hopkins. Did you have any talks with the Texans and Vikings about those guys, and why did it not make sense for you if you did?
Yeah, again, kind of along the lines of Jadeveon, I think we did our due diligence, and I'm not going to, I can't get into the specifics. Obviously, those guys, we're in Arizona and Buffalo, but we are going to try to remain as flexible as we can as far as opportunities that come up, whether it be free agent signing, trades, draft trades, etc.
JP from Forbes, your line is active.
Joe, I know you said, and I'm sure you're correct, that what a great job the tech team there has done and everything, but just you personally, what for you has been the most challenging thing about trying to do all of this from remote, trying to assemble a free agent class from remote? What do you think has been the toughest thing about it?
It's a lot easier to have conversations on players and contracts, when everybody's, in talking distance, and you don't have to, put in a FaceTime call or you make a phone call. Just the communication aspect has been probably the most difficult thing. But I think, we with technology the way it is, it's much easier to do than it used to be. So that's really been the biggest thing. We feel good about where we are as far as going through the details of draft meetings, going through the detail of our interviews with players moving forward. We feel good about that.
And from Jets Confidential, your line is active.
Joe, as far as a cornerback, you guys acquired Pierre Desir, and both of your starters from last year were released as far as starters entering the season. How do you feel about that position, and what does Pierre bring to the table?
Yeah, so I think Pierre, first before I talk about Pierre, again, along the lines of Jordan, I can't tell you how excited we are to get Brian back as well in the fold. Brian was a great signing last year, and he really solidified the nickel spot for us all last season. I think he was a big part to our defensive success during the year. So really excited to have a BP back with us. As far as Pierre, that was a unique opportunity. Obviously, when he was cut, having Rex Hogan here and the time that he spent with Pierre in Indianapolis, and he could really touch on this player's character. When you watch the tape, the thing that jumps out is how instinctive Pierre is, especially in zone, and how good his ball skills are. When he has a chance to make a play on the ball, he's going to get the interception or the PBU. So excited to add both of those guys to the secondary.
Al from Newsday, your line is active.
Hey, Joe, how you doing? Can you share how close you guys were, or how disappointed you were, anything regarding Robbie leaving, and then what do you think of what Brashard can bring to you guys?
Yeah, Robbie obviously was a really good player here. Really helped us tremendously down the stretch last year, and I'm happy for Robbie that he was able to get the money he got, and he's gonna. I wish him well going back to play for his college coach at Temple and Matt Rule at Carolina. So wish him well. I mean, it's a real credit for him being an undrafted free agent, and how he developed and how he played into where he is now. It's a credit to his hard work. So happy for Robbie's opportunity. But also equally excited about the opportunity to get Brashard in here. Having spent a lot of time scouting Brashard. That was my last draft in Baltimore before leaving for Chicago. He has unique size and speed combo. Obviously, his career trajectory was different than most first rounders. But I think you've seen it in the back half of 2 years ago with Cleveland, and then at the end of this year, you'd be hard pressed to find a wide receiver that had better numbers than Brashard. So really excited about his speed, his ability to take the top off the defense. Feel like he can come in here and make an impact, and he'll be able to develop a chemistry with Sam moving forward.
Kim from NFL Network, your line is active.
Hey, Joe, it's Kim. I wonder if you'd be willing to kind of quantify how much you think, specifically with the offensive line moves, you've helped Sam to this degree or to this point, and maybe how much work you think, generally speaking, is still to be done in that regard. We see around the league with quarterbacks right around Sam's age in the league, they're all kind of making those steps to kind of help their young quarterback the best they can. So that's the context in which I'm kind of asking this.
Yeah, Kim, that's our focus, is doing everything we can to help Sam succeed. And the one thing that we didn't want, we just didn't want a situation where Sam was just going to have to be under fire all the time with protection issues. So I actually, when I first met his parents in the first preseason game, I promised them I was going to do everything in my power to take care of Sam, with protection and playmakers. So I think we still have a lot to do in both those regards moving forward. I think we've done our best to attack some of the issues that we've had in the past. I think there's a real shortage of quality offensive linemen in the National Football League, and so we're going to try to do our best to get as many quality ones as we can, because you can never have too many. So we're going to try to keep it simple with guys that are smart, tough, and versatile. And so we're going to keep addressing that moving forward. We're going to keep addressing playmakers moving forward.
Ralph from SNY, your line is active.
Hi, Joe. You mentioned protecting Sam, obviously, with offensive linemen and playmakers. With the departure of Robbie and bringing Rashad in his place, where do you feel you stand on those playmakers? Do you have enough, or are you looking to add more?
Yeah, we're excited about Rashad. We're excited about Jamison. We had some young guys that came on towards the end of the year. Braxton, was our backup slot receiver, Braxton Berrios. He was in the top 5 in punt returns. Young playmaker that we're excited about. Able to acquire Vincent Smith, poach him from Houston Texans practice squad. He's going to have a real opportunity. Bringing in a guy like Josh Doxson after the season, former first-round pick, a guy that has really good ball skills. So I think he's a guy that could complement what we already have. So there's a lot of opportunity for a lot of guys. Obviously, that doesn't preclude us from making any additional moves, and we've got to whenever we have the opportunity to improve our playmaking group, we're gonna go after that.
We will take a couple more questions. Brian from the Post, your line is active.
Joe, could you just give us a medical update on 2 of your players, C.J. Mosley and Quincy Enunwa?
Yeah, so CJ's progressing well. Everyone in this organization is excited to have a healthy CJ Mosley. Not having him for 14 games was tough. But also it's a real credit to Greg, his staff, and the rest of the defense for the way that they were able to perform all year. So he's progressing well. Still going through the process with Quincy. I think there's going to be we should have some more information on that hopefully soon. But obviously, that's a big question mark for us moving forward.
Rich from ESPN, your line is active.
Joe, you said at the Combine you expressed a desire to extend Jamal. I'm wondering, have there been any subsequent conversations with his people, and how is that progressing?
Yeah, Rich, so since the last time I talked to you guys, nothing's really changed on our end. We've really, our focus has really been on free agency, finishing up free agency and the draft. So no new news to report in that regard.